Hey guys, in this video I will show you some simple lineups which you can use with Gekko on the map Fracture, and you'll start with this postplant lineup right here on B. So what you want to do with your Moshpit, go into the corner right here, and when it's planted you just want to simply aim in this corner right here, and then you simply throw your Moshpit. It is gonna land perfectly on the spike, getting anyone who would be on it. Another very similar lineup you can use when you are going to entry on site. You wanna be mulling this part of the site off. So once again, go into the same corner as you were before. However, this time you wanna be placing crosshair right here on this corner. It's very similar, but you wanna go a little bit down and to the right. So place your crosshair there and throw it. And as you can see, the molly will land perfectly behind these, and it could also work as a post plant. So have that in mind, and most importantly, it gets anyone behind these dices. Another lineup which you can use if the enemies are planting right here and you are defending, you just want to go into the corner right here and place the bottom headline right like this. The headline next to your Moshpit and between your Wingman, you just want to place it on top of this little line right here, pretty much in the middle. And you simply throw it. And as you can see, it's gonna land perfectly right in the middle, and it would get anyone who would be planting or even defusing. Another lineup for this spot, this time from the arcade, you wanna go into the corner right here. And as you can see, there is this little pillar, and you wanna place the dot under the Wingman right in the middle of it, right here. So it would look like this. I will zoom on it for you. As you can see, it's pretty easy to line up, and then you will simply throw it. And it's gonna land perfectly right here at these dices, and you will get anyone around them, anyone on the spike, or anyone even on top of them. Moving on to A side, with this spike being here, you can do a simple lineup by going into A main, going into the corner right here, behind the box, placing your crosshair anywhere in this area right here, and you wanna run forward and throw it. And as you can see, it's gonna land perfectly on the spike, denying anyone to defuse. Next lineup, this time for these stairs, you wanna be in A main, you wanna be a bit deeper, you can place your crosshair just above next to this corner and go up until you hit this first line right there. So have that in mind, you just simply do this, you run forward, and before you hit this wall, you wanna throw it. So it would look like this. And as you can see, it goes through the door perfectly, and it gets anyone who would be close right perfectly as well. So one of the best ones to use when you're entering site. And lastly, for this spot, you want to go into the corner right here, just like that, and place your crosshair, place this left mouse button icon, the line, just like as I'm placing on this little rectangle. I will zoom on it now so you can see it better. It's pretty easy to find, it's right here. So you just place there your Moshpit icon, like that, and you throw it. It's gonna take a path along the way, and it's gonna land perfectly under the side, getting anyone off the spike. When you are retaking A, you can very simply use your Moshpit like this. Just place your crosshair on top of this, next to this line, so that you don't accidentally hit this wall. Place your crosshair on forward and throw it. It would just land perfectly in the backside right here and get anyone of these spots. Or you can just very simply place your crosshair once again on this, but this time just simply throw it, and once again it would get anyone in this corner right here. Let's move on to your Wingman and start right here on A. Very simply, you can use your Wingman and combine it with your lineups. For example, you can send him and let him plant right here, or you can send him pretty much anywhere, as you can see. Make sure you use this and combine it with smokes or flashes, for example with yours, just like that. And if you wanna just simply use it not to plant, I would recommend you to clear with him the right side or under the side. So either like this, just simply bounce it off, or you can just send it under the side, as you can see. And he would clear pretty much the whole side. You can be doing this on B as well, but this time you can just simply send him like this, he will bounce up, and if he doesn't find anyone, he will just leave, and you can maybe even later on take him back. And when you are entering, just simply send him either to the left, or you can let him go plant, for example at these spots, and once again combine it with your Moshpit lineups that I showed you just a second ago. There's plenty of spots where he can plant, and it's super easy to do. I feel like he's super useful, especially at arcade. You can just always try to send him, for example, like this, so that way he will clear behind this box, as you can see. Or you can even use this at the dish, which is once again very useful spot, since you will be pretty much always able to pick him back up just by doing this. And you can go on the left, and if this spots anyone, you can then take him back. You can clear this corner with your flash and then continue to the side, maybe even trying to send him to plant, as you can see. Or you can just very simply use him to clear under the side, maybe to bounce him off of this box, just like this. He would turn and see if there's anyone right there. Now let's move on to flashes, which are, I think, the best part of his kit. You can always flash corner like this, it would get anyone on the corner, you can take it back, and then you have both of these options. You can either go through these doors, it can blind anyone, you can throw it pretty much anywhere, and once again, you can, this is a decently safe spot. If you have this smoked, it would be difficult for enemies to do anything to you. You can always flash this corner if you want to as well, but usually enemies tend to be further back, and then you can just once again use your flash, for example like this. If you maybe smoke these two spots, you can take it back after that, and once again you can get sides very safely and easily, since anyone in these corners anywhere would be blinded by your flash. If you're coming from this, there are two ways you can use this flash. You can either throw your flash above yourself, this way it would pop right there and it would get anyone peeking, and then once again it lands right on you where you threw it if you aim directly above yourself. Or you can just simply flash corner, for example like this. It should work fine, and once again you can take it at this decently safe spot. Then once again you can use your wingman or even your flash, and as you can see it would clear a lot of spaces, even these corners. And once again when you are entering, then you can maybe later on throw your flash, for example like this, over the wall, and as you can see, if it was right here, it would blind anyone on site, on top of it, stairs, or anyone at spawn. Moving on to B, I would suggest you to just simply throw your flash immediately when the barrier drops, so that way you would flash anyone if he's open there. Simply take it back, and once again you have the option to go in. You can either flash, for example like this, that way you would flash the whole right side, or you can get closer and, for example like this, and simply throw your flash just like that, so that way you would get more of a heaven, of tower, or even anyone on site, especially anyone on dices, since if you throw it high enough, you would always blind them. If you were to come from arcade, once again, you can do your flash just like this, peek with it. Once again, usually enemies would be either holding you, and once again, if you throw it far enough, it will glide all the way behind this corner, that way you are able to pick it as well. For this one, you wanna be, if you are continuing this push, you wanna be trying to throw it behind the arcade, for example like that. And as you can see, you will blind anyone on the left, and it's gonna land right here, and you are once again in a very safe spot. Then you have both of these options, which are gonna work fantastically. You can either throw it right here and have your teammate go with it. It would even flash anyone further back, as you can see. And if you chose the other path, once again safely throwing it like here, the higher the better in this case, and as you can see it would glide all the way here and it would spot anyone in these spots. Defending with your flash is not gonna be super easy, but I think you can do this. Just aim directly above yourself and jump and throw it, and as you can see he will go all the way here and spot anyone in this B3. So that's one of the ways, and then you can instantly pick it up. There's other way, you can also flash right here just by aiming directly above yourself and jump and throw it. That way it would blind anyone at this B bench, and you can gain some info, or your teammates can use it in advantage and push with it. So those are the spots. Or you can be, if the enemies are outside, you can always just be trying to delay them. You can then pick it up immediately, and you can use it in 10 seconds. You can use this to gain time for your teammates to rotate, or just simply to flash, peek with it. Super easy to do. You can then pick it up back as I showed you, and those are one of the best spots where I would use it. You can also use it behind these dices. However, you would just simply lose your position immediately with this one, and as you can see it blinds only anyone here. So if you peek on the right further, anyone who would be more to the left to this wall, it's not gonna be flash, so it's gonna be difficult, but you can always throw it normally and peek with it. But however, with this one you are losing the option of picking it back up. And there's also one option that would you have to cross on the other side? Once again, simply throw your flash high enough, and as you can see, it would go onto the other side, and then you can pick it up. So you'll be just throwing it from one side to the other, and this is probably the best option how you can use this flash. On the A side, there's plenty of options. For example, when the enemies are planting, you can use this window, jump, and throw it, aim directly above yourself, and as you can see, it can blind anyone on sight, and then it goes back down. Once again, you can take it, and once again, you're gonna be either winning some time for your enemies to flank them, or for your teammates to flank, or for enemies to blind them, and you can always peek with it. You can be playing aggressive, for example, at dish. You can just very simply throw it high up, but this one is rather difficult, so I would recommend just simply maybe bounce it off this wall. It's gonna pop, and then you can pick it up if it doesn't blind anyone and it doesn't go that far. With your ult, there's plenty of options. You can always ult right here and clear these corners. If you don't fight anyone, you can always go back, and as you can see, the ARP is gonna stay here. You have two ARPs. I mean, you always get one ARP if your dog doesn't go off. You can then pick it up and use it again. So with the first one, you can use it to clear this, and then you can just turn back and go and wait for your teammates. And you can use the other one, for example, behind the box right here, and clear under the side, top side, or just simply catch anyone and try to stun them. So that's one of the ways, but have in mind you have only 2 shots with this dog since it gives you 1 ARP. So if you don't use the first one, just go back to yourself, and so that way it is closer and it is easier to pick up. Don't waste it and go into the side where you would not maybe spot anyone. However, the enemies will usually guard it to gain some time for them. So this is the tip for your ultimate. There's nothing really to it. It's very effective to use, especially on A and B when retaken, since enemies usually tend to be playing either under the side, so you can always buy them right here, and it's gonna be super easy to get the side back if you use this correctly. So yeah, that's all for this agent. Hopefully this video is gonna be helpful for you guys. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and see you guys soon. Bye.